Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to tackle a common issue that many developers face when working with Docker containers and Python requests. Have you ever encountered a situation where your Python code works perfectly fine outside of a Docker container, but suddenly gets blocked with a 403 error when run inside the container? If so, you're not alone. This problem can be frustrating and challenging to debug, especially for those new to Docker or network requests. But don't worry, in this video, we'll dive into the possible causes behind this issue and provide a clear explanation of what's going on. So let's break down what might be happening here. When you run your Python code outside of a Docker container, it can make network requests without any issues. However, when you move that same code inside a Docker container, the request gets blocked with a 403 error. This is likely due to the way Docker handles networking. By default, Docker containers have their own isolated networking stack, which means they don't share the same IP address or network configuration as your host machine. When your Python code makes a request, it's coming from the container's IP address, not your host machine's IP address. One possible reason for this issue is that the server you're trying to connect to has security restrictions in place that prevent requests from unknown or untrusted IP addresses. Since the container's IP address is different from your host machine's IP address, the server might be blocking the request due to its security policy. Another possibility is that the Docker container doesn't have the necessary permissions or configuration to make network requests. This could be due to the way the container is configured or the permissions set on the Docker host. To better understand this issue, let's consider an analogy. Imagine you're trying to send a letter to a friend who lives in a different city. You write the address on the envelope and give it to the postal service to deliver. However, if the postal service doesn't recognize your return address or has restrictions on delivering mail from unknown addresses, they might not deliver the letter. Similarly, when your Python code makes a request, it's like sending a letter to a server. If the server doesn't recognize the IP address of the container or has security restrictions in place, it might block the request. To summarize, the main points we've discussed are: Docker containers have their own isolated networking stack. The container's IP address is different from your host machine's IP address. Security restrictions on the server might be blocking requests from unknown or untrusted IP addresses. The Docker container might not have necessary permissions or configuration to make network requests. Getting a 403 error. When running Python, requests inside a Docker container can be due to various reasons related to networking and security. By understanding how Docker handles networking and considering the possible causes behind this issue, you can better debug and resolve the problem. If you have any questions or comments about this topic, please leave them in the section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on programming and software development. Thanks for watching.